Hi and welcome to So You Think You're Awake. This is episode 2 on YouTube, but it is actually episode 100 in the show. Anybody who's been following from the start will realise how much it has changed and morphed over that time. It was originally a half an hour with just me. We're back to just a half an hour with me. But now we have video and hopefully it's easier to follow along on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, I will post individual clips of dreams on YouTube, so if you subscribe you're going to get notified about those. So the show's going to be broken up into bite-sized chunks. If you don't watch it live, you can pick what you want to watch that way too, and there's a reason for that and I'll explain it later on. Please do continue to send your dreams, and thank you to everybody who has. You can send them to find the link on dream-analysis.com. Just click radio show and there's a big button on there saying submit your dream, so just use that. So using it that way you can submit your dream anonymously, so that's a good thing for you. And what else? The show is still available on Apple Podcasts and on Google Play, so you can listen to audio only on those. And if you are listening to audio only on those, realize now that the show is geared for YouTube and geared for video, so there are visual cues that match the dreams as I do them. So subscribe to YouTube, that's the big thing. And I'm going to start off with 2 questions I got in since last week. One person asked, can you please advise on how to remember your dreams and become lucid? Okay, so of course, if you show an interest in your dreams, you're automatically going to start remember them much more easily. But the best way to do it is set your alarm clock for maybe 30 minutes before you need to wake up, or 45 minutes before you need to wake up, and go back to sleep. And you'll find that you don't go fully back to sleep, but you'll have enough time to have a dream. And because you're not in such a deep state of sleep, you will remember that dream much more easily. You will always find that you remember your dreams more easily on vacation, and that's simply just because you take longer to get out of bed because you're on vacation. So weekends and vacations is when people really remember them more. But there are other techniques. You can use a glass of water technique, which is where you get a glass of water, bring it to bed, drink half it the night before while meditating on the idea that you're going to remember your dreams. And if you can't meditate, it's just really trying to focus your mind and saying, okay, drinking this is going to help me remember my dreams. And then when you wake up in the morning, drink the rest of the glass of water. It's really just a technique to tell your mind what you want it to do, and your mind follows it along. But there is somebody I want to mention, Jaime Dyson. She has a YouTube channel on lucid dreaming. So if that's really what your thing is, I'll put a link under the show today on YouTube, and you can find all her videos there. Okay, so next question is, they say, hi Michael, I love your show. Can you talk about what UFOs mean in dreams? Thank you. Okay, so UFOs, they're very common when you start getting into the spiritual field. So you may have been religious before, and the whole idea of, the fact that you have guides that are watching over you, that may not even be too alien to you, but it still shows up in your dreams as aliens or somebody from off this world coming along. And of course we visualize them in a UFO. So it typically is about you getting in touch with your guides, getting a more personal one-to-one relationship with them. So it's a good dream, even though in those dreams it's quite often scary and you're trying to hide from the UFO and so on. But they tend to be UFOs for about a few weeks to a few months, and then you start having dreams about maybe meeting the captain of an airplane, or it depends on whatever your gifts are, how your guides are going to show up. But it is good, and it does always mean that you are now looking at something that until this point in time was a little bit otherworldly or alien in the true sense of the word, not the American sense. So let's have a look at some of the dreams, and we're going to start off with this one. It's called The Banner. And if you're interested in what numbers can mean in dreams, which other people have written in and asked just today, then this dream will be interesting to you. She says, my dream, although years old and non-recurring, has me puzzled since it occurred. In 2011, my mom passed away. Several months after her death, I had a dream where my mother and I were flying. So flying in a dream, even if you were to just say you were flying, it means that you can astral travel. You can consciously have your spirit leave your body because your physical body can't fly, but it symbolizes being able to project your mind or whatever you want to imagine leaves your body, and you can go to other places. It means a few things straight away by being able to fly in a dream. It means you'd be good at hypnosis. You'd be very good at persuading people because you've got this mind projection thing. You can project your mind, which I've covered in detail in other shows, and maybe we'll cover it again. And then absent healing is the other one that it can do. And of course, that may seem like another one of these alien things, but if you're religious or came from that background, that's in the Bible. And remember, in the Bible, Jesus says that many people can do what he can do, and some people can do it even better than he can. If need be, I'll pull that quote out. But of course, if you've had a religious background, coming into a field like this can be a bit jarring because you feel like it's going against your upbringing, when a lot of the time it's not. Anyway, my mother and I were flying. So the astral plane is a plane between the physical world and the spirit world, and spirits can come there and we can go there. So what you're doing in this dream is you're meeting your mother on the astral plane, and you've I think we had an astral plane dream last week. Anyway, you say we're flying around a black sky that was illuminated by stars. So the illuminated by stars is really good, and stars represent goals, and we're going to see goals come up in your dream again in another way. So the dream is saying it's really the focus is pursuit of goals. And the black sky is like, black on its own, it can be a negative colour in dreams. It's nothing to do with the colour of skin or anything like that. White on its own can be negative in dreams. So black sky illuminated by stars is saying that, if you're not sure what you need to do, set goals and follow those goals, pursue those goals. You say you could see many celestial bodies. That's another hint to something you're able to do, which is see spirits. She was very alive and full of joy. This is your mom. So this is interesting. So you obviously, in the dream that she's deceased, and yet she's still very alive. So it backs up the fact that you're able to see spirits and that she's happy. And you say you're glad to see that because she suffered so much during her last years on this realm. So very good. Just before the dream ended, and this is the part that probably really puzzles you the most, she held up a banner. The banner read 160005. That's all, no words. In fact, we never spoke words in the dream. And once the banner was displayed, she flew off. When I awakened, I tried to make sense of the numbers, but have been unable. Okay, well, here you're going to find out what they are about. So the banner, and I wrote to this dreamer, I said, so banners in dreams represent a title or the feeling that you need to have a title to do something in life. So I wrote and I asked her, did your mom feel that you needed to have a title or get a formal qualification? And she wrote back, my mom was a teacher who possessed a master's degree in education. She instilled a desire for degrees in all of her children and anyone who would listen. And it goes on and on and on. So we know then that this does apply directly to this dreamer, that this is something her mother said. So because her mother said in waking life, that you need to get a formal qualification, you're nobody without a formal qualification and so on. And in this dream, she's actually saying the opposite. So if we look at the numbers, and numbers are great in a dream because they really cut to the chase of what it's about. So 1 represents individuality, being unique, and it also can mean you're selfish. So the more unique or the more individual a thing is. So if you're saying, I really want to do this my way, and you're saying that to a group, it has to be done my way, you can see how, yes, that's individual and unique, but to others it can be perceived as selfish. And that's true for pursuing your goals in the spiritual field. It almost always is perceived as selfish by other people because it's not a conventional thing to do. 6 in dreams represents Dharma. Again, we've covered that many times. Dharma is where you're living in a state of grace, where you've got a strong connection to your higher self, and you know what your life purpose is, or you know that you're in alignment with your higher self. 0 represents goals or ideals. It's the only number with no beginning or end because it's a perfect circle, so it's great for representing that. And 5 represents karma. So dharma and karma are 2 ways of living. Karma is where you learn about yourself through experience, through living your life. And dharma is where you actively pursue what you know you need to pursue because you're in touch with what your life is about. And then the 3 zeros, because 0 is repeated 3 times, it's really emphasizing the goals. the commitment, 3 represents commitment. So commitment to your goals, really, really follow your goals. So that's how you break a number down in a dream and figure it out. So really, when you look at this, mom is holding up a sign and saying, the banner, the title that you need in life, the only title you need is life itself. You can, as long as you're pursuing your goals, it doesn't matter. What binds everything in life is pursuit of goals, whether you're on the dharmic path or the karmic path. And it's your unique individual path. And so all you really need to do is commit to pursuing your goals. So that's what our message is from Beyond the Grave. The formal qualifications are really not so important to her anymore. It's also interesting you say that sometimes after her death you met her. And this is common. People, especially when they suffer, when they're ill, they go to a place in the spirit world where they're allowed recover. Now, not straight away. So when somebody just passes, you may be able to contact them straight away. But within a short while, within a few weeks at the most, typically at the most, they were going to have moved into what are called healing or breathing rooms. And while they're in that space, you won't be able to contact them. But once they're done with that and they've made the transition into the spirit world properly, then they can show up in your dreams. But they are very often, like this mom is, very distant. You know, she doesn't actually speak. She just holds up a banner and then flies off as soon as she's got the message through. And part of the reason for that is they don't want your longing and your missing of them to be something that makes you want to be with them, because subconsciously that can have you follow them pretty quickly into the spirit world. And they absolutely don't want that, of course. But they do want to let you know, like the mom does in this dream, that she is alive and full of joy. She's very happy where she is. That is very common. So you said as well, I think, if I'm getting this right, that you heard spirits and see spirits when you were younger. And of course, that all backs up the seeing the celestial bodies. But I would put it, because of the way this works and the way you don't actually say that she spoke, that when you hear spirits, they are thoughts impressed on your mind. And so hearing is really a euphemism for the fact that you're able to pick up on the thoughts. And so I'd be interested in what you have to say about that. Okay, so that's Veronica's dream. Thank you very much for that. And let's move on to the next one. And this one is called Narrow Road, from Shelley. She says, I'm traveling in a car with 3 others, men, I think, on a very narrow road. So traveling in a car is about pursuit of goals. It's almost, it's one of the big things in dreams. They're always going to say to you, look, you should set goals and strive towards them, regardless of whatever they are, because in doing that, you're going to have to overcome some limitations that you perceive or that are real, but they're there because of your conditioning, and you're going to have to do something to deal with them. So the pursuit of goals helps you enormously overcome issues that you have in life. And of course, that's what life is about. It's about increasing your awareness by overcoming the obstacles that hold you back, or overcoming the issues, regardless of where you pick them up. Now, these would be issues typically that you have in the spirit world, and you transfer them onto the physical plane so that you can deal with them while here, because it's much easier to deal with them while here. So it's not like, oh, I got tripped up. So a lot of people think, if it was going to be in my path, it would be easy. And that is not the case at all, because what's on your path a lot of the time includes things you love, but it includes overcoming things that you absolutely dislike and you really wish they weren't there. But growth is mostly gained through dealing with those things. Anyway, you're traveling in a car with 3 other men. So 3 men is a positive thing, because 3 is about commitment. So commitment to the male side. And male energy, so we all have male and female energy, and it's always good to know from your dream what exactly is the focus on, what part of male energy. So here I'm going to say it's to do with confidence and belief in yourself, because male energy is something we all use, whether we're a man or a woman, to operate in the physical world. So here it's going to be about confidence and belief in yourself. Anyway, so they're with you in the car. So it's saying in the pursuit of your goals, you need to include this. And if we got nothing else, we've already got a message from that dream. So that's an important message. Always important to realize that dreams seem like a slap on the wrist. They come along and they say, here's something you need to change, and here's why you need to change it, and here's how you need to change it, and so on. So they're always about something you need to change. So very rarely are you going to get a dream that doesn't in some way feel like a put down. But this is something that you need to do. This is why you're here. you've done all the hard work in getting this far, so it's easy from here on. Also important to realize, dreams never show you something that you can't deal with. So if it shows up in your dream, now is an appropriate time to deal with it. Anyway, you say you're on a very narrow road, high up a mountain. You're scared, the road is too narrow. So the narrow road, so this is going to apply to whatever you're pursuing, and we're going to see it in a couple of seconds in the dream. You're feeling like there's major restrictions that are blocking you from doing this, and one of those restrictions is your fear about doing it. So let's see, do we get to, you say you're never going back on that road, it's too narrow. So lots of emphasis on too narrow. But narrow here is going to be about your consciousness, your attitude towards it. So it's like you need to broaden your attitude towards this. And it's a spiritual thing, and we know it's spiritual because you say it was a narrow road high up a mountain, and I mentioned that later on as well. So then we have it, it's given to us here. You say, a waiter brings us drinks, beer in brackets, I have water. So a waiter bringing drinks, food or drinks in a dream means that you have a hands-on healing ability or a spiritual healing ability. They're the same thing. So you're able to channel energy, male energy, which is why we have males in this dream. So it's important for you to deal with male energy issues because hands-on healing and spiritual healing both channel male energy into your client. I mean, there's all sorts of things people will say, well, you know, the person heals themselves. Absolutely, absolutely. But you're channeling the life force that allows them to heal themselves and remove blockages and so on and so on and so on. Anyway, so that's what it is. So it's saying your approach to that is too narrow. So you're looking at that and you're restricting your view of it in some way. And because of the restriction, you're making it harder to achieve that goal. You say, I don't want to go with these people in the car after they have been drinking. Fair enough. But of course, everything now relates to your spiritual healing ability. So you're really saying, I don't want to pursue this. And then drinking, of course, is like numbing themselves to their sensitivity. So it's about you, of course, saying that, you know, it's not right for me. It isn't something I should be doing. It's just a technique used in this dream. Later, you say, later I arrive at a high table. So this is really good in a dream, to arrive at a location. And even earlier you say, we get to the end destination. So this says, this is within your reach. You're right there. Both of the things, arriving and getting to the end destination. And then you say you arrive at a high table. And you also, like I said earlier, you say it's high up a mountain. So these are the things that you need. It's a spiritual ability. We know from the waiter anyway, but we know it's a spiritual ability because the emphasis in the dream is this is a high up location. It's about your higher self, and even the table is a high table. And then you say, there are other people there, women, 2 or 3. My neighbor Diane is one of them. So I wrote and asked Shelley about Diane. I said, what comes to mind about her? And she says, she's not afraid to speak what is on her mind. She laughs easily, even if it is at herself. So that's an important one. We'll come back to that. Laughs easily, even if it is at herself. But when you see people in dreams, and really predominantly you have a positive view of them, then you look at what is the most prevalent positive thing about that person. And they're in the dream to show you that you can do this. You have this ability yourself, the ability to laugh at yourself. And to speak what's on your mind. So obviously, not obviously, but more than likely, you're holding yourself back, and you would have difficulty if other people were to laugh at you or to not take you seriously. So that's probably a good way to put it. Don't take yourself too seriously. So she's there for that reason. You're everything in the dream, so that's why we can say that's what Diane represents for you. There is a mountain in front of us, and of course the mountain indicates the difficulty in achieving this. There's a mountain in front of us. John, Diane's husband, scales the mountain. He is naked. Okay, so let's see. What have we got here? John scales the mountain. So I asked again, what are John's traits? And you said the most positive character traits that John has are he listens to what others have to say and is forthright in his opinions. And here's the important bit. He's open to different ideas, not rigid in his thoughts. So again, the dream is saying, look, be like these people. Not just be like them. It's not that you have to copy them. It's you have these traits. You just have them suppressed. You can't dream about a trait that you don't have. So it's saying you can get to this space yourself. So that's really good. So back to the dream, you say he's naked. So being naked in a dream is about not dressing something up. Clothes represent attitudes or a role you adopt towards the subject matter of the dream. So here it's saying don't dress it up, be yourself, don't be afraid for people to see you as you are. And of course he's male, so it's all emphasis here on the male side. So your male side, put yourself out there, be confident, be who you are, and it doesn't matter what other people think about it. Anyway, you say he doesn't seem to realize that there are people watching him. He reaches the top and turns around. He doesn't seem to care that he is naked again, and that's the way you need to be. Don't care what other people think. Don't care that other people are watching you. Of course, you're your own worst critic. We often are. And of course, it's best when you're your own worst critic, because then you can do something about it. Now, here's the thing. If you are a critic, if you do criticize yourself a lot, it's quite often difficult to just switch that off. So you need to look at, where do you get this trait from? Was it dad? Was it mom? And do something to eliminate that critical part of your nature, because you're using it against yourself. And the reason I say it's difficult to let it go sometimes is because you say, okay, I'm just going to let that go. But then you fail. You might succeed for a couple of days, and then you fail. You find yourself criticizing yourself about something, and then you beat yourself up even more because you find yourself criticizing yourself. So it's kind of hard to just switch it off, but with a bit of work you can do it. Anyway, he reaches the top and turns around. So this is all what you can do. Once you don't care what other people think, you will get to the top of your game and be like the world's best spiritual healer. You'll overcome every obstacle that could possibly be in your way, because he scales the mountain. And the way it's even said, it's like it's an easy thing for him to do. Let's see, where have we got? He doesn't seem to care that he's naked. The women are smiling and laughing. I walk away. So of course, because of what you perceive other people to be doing, you want to let it go. So again, and it may be, you could say to yourself, well, I'm not afraid of the spiritual field. I could see myself, giving readings, doing tarot readings or whatever it happens to be. And that's quite often the case. We want to do something other than, because of the obstacles it's going to force you to overcome in order to bring it in spades. So stick with it. It's important that you stick with it, because that's the one you've picked. It's part of your path. And then you say, I start to walk down that very narrow mountain road that I came on. The road itself is dark gravel. Okay, so a dark gravel road, this is going to be about your own elimination system. There's a bit more to it than that. So it's saying, look, if you start working on other people, start helping other people, healing them, then you're going to overcome or heal your own elimination system difficulties. So that's really a positive thing to do it. And if you think about it, if you're channeling healing energy through your body so that you can channel it into other people, you do get the benefits of that. And in fact, it's also important to realize, if you have a hands-on healing ability and you don't use it, you can actually become ill from not using it, because there is so much energy in your body. It's like you're plugged in compared to other people, tons and tons and tons of energy, and it has to go somewhere for everything to be good. Let's see. Okay, don't be afraid of what people will think. That's what I have written in there. And I'm going to be much better at sticking to the time this week, so let's have a look at another one. This one is called Airport Terminal, and the lady says, I was supposed to take a flight and I was waiting in the laptop lounge. So waiting is about patience. So the dream is asking you to have patience in the laptop lounge. So computers are logical. We program them to do what we want to do. So they can represent programming that I'm taking with me. So conditioning I'm taking with me. But it also, they're common in dreams to indicate that you operate from the head, that you're very rational, and so on. And you're waiting in the laptop lounge for Terminal 1E, but my flight was changed to Terminal 8A. So that's important. So it's IE, you say, but I and 1 are pretty much the same thing. 1 is about being individual, unique, and I is about that too. And E is the 5th letter, so it's about being on the karmic path. And change to Terminal 8A. So 8 is to do with the heart and expansion through a balanced heart. So expanding yourself through female energy. It's an 8 is like the infinity symbol if you turn it on its side. So it's all about balance and expansion in both directions. and A is like the number 1. So again, it's saying, so really, if you were to sum it up so far, it's saying you can move from the karmic path to the dharmic path. So this must be something that you're looking at or hoping to do. Then you say, it was changed at the last minute and I had to run to catch it, but I didn't know if I was going the right way or not. Now, running in a dream, trying to catch something, or even driving and jockeying for position in your car, that's also about the karmic path, or being aware of being late for something. That's the karmic path, because the karmic path is in dreams. The karmic path is where various events are going to happen in your life, and you're meant to develop yourself by how you learn about yourself from life hitting you, you could say. And because we have a subconscious awareness of, I should be at this point now in my life, then we have our dreams that say, look, you're late, or you have to run to catch this. It's because we're aware that we haven't put in the work yet that we need to do. In your case, it's quite good. You're saying you didn't know if you're going the right way or not. A lot of us have that problem, but that's a karmic thing, a fear of going the wrong way. On the dharmic path, there are no fears because you're in alignment and you know everything's going to work out. If I go the wrong way, I'll be nudged and turn around and I'll go the right way. But you say, okay, so here's how to get onto the dharmic path for you. I was wearing an indigo suit skirt and high heels. So indigo is about clairvoyance. It's the color of the brow chakra you will often see depicted there. And it indicates clairvoyance. You have an ability to talk to spirits and get answers from them through images. And the skirt suit says, look, be female, and the fact that it's a suit, it's saying, look, it's a business. So you don't need to change yourself. Be female in your approach to business. Now I know from other dreams, that is exactly probably the difficulty you have. But at least the dream is saying, look, be yourself. And the high heels, not too often you see these in dreams, but high heels represent your higher path, walk in your higher path. So this is the way to do it for you. So be female in your approach to business, use your clairvoyance, and it's your way onto your higher path. So feminine, female, whatever way you want to take that. Then you say, what number have I got here? 5. I had a black rolling briefcase. So you have to deal with some baggage here, but not too bad. And it's baggage because it's a briefcase, and a briefcase is really a business thing. The other thing in there is saying it's a rolling briefcase. So rolling is to do with the heart because it's wheels. So you've got some baggage there, but not big because a briefcase isn't that big, that you got to deal with, that it will allow you pursue your business in a feminine way. So feminine being the opposite of using the head, like the laptop lounge at the start, so get out of your head, get into your heart, be female in your approach to things. So female energy is all about listening, being open, like teaching and so on, and leadership. They're female energy traits, but listening is the big thing. So how you would help two different people with what would be perceived to be the same issue could be quite different, because you listen to them and you address their issues in a very unique way. And then the last part is really good. You say, I guess I was dressed as a flight crew member. So that means because the flight crew are there to help to get the plane off the ground or to the higher location, it says you are here to help people reach a higher plane. And of course, that's something you want to do. Obviously you want to do. I'm not saying everybody needs to do that. Not everybody is here for that. But that's your business. It is your business to do it, but you have to be female in your approach to doing it. Nice. And of course, I didn't say, a flight taking off is about a departure in your life or something new, a new project in your life. Okay, I have several more dreams here. And some of the dreams I just did are the ones that I skipped last week. So we're still near the start of the pile. Please do continue to send in your dreams, and subscribe on YouTube, and you'll get notifications of new things coming up. I don't know how I can do more unless we lengthen the show. But that's it. I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.